Hi folks, I said the other day we're going to do a couple of joint film reviews and put them on my Twitter, so we're going to try one. They're going to be called Dad and Mad's Film Reviews. I'm the dad of the relationship, obviously, that's Mad's. Watching films is a favourite pastime of most people, so we've been watching a lot of films together. Some we enjoy, some we don't, some she enjoys, some I don't, and we argue about it, and we think probably most people that watch this will be the same. If they've got any young kids, they'll have difference of opinions, and the kids will think something's awesome and you'll think it's garbage, and vice versa. So we just thought we'd give it a bit of a review. So anyone who's watched this film will already get it. We'll try our best not to put too many spoilers in, but one of us has got quite a big mouth. So, as you say, I'm the dad of the relationship. This is Mads. You want to tell them something about yourself?
Hi guys. Well, I do a club almost every day after school. I love dancing and singing, and most of all, I love watching films with my dad. So that's why we decided to do film reviews, because we love it and we want to give you our input on the films.
And who are give me three of your favourite actors.
Will Ferrell, The Rock, and I don't know what to say.
And Will Rock. Alright, Sam. So mine, I would say, because I'm a bit more grown up, I would say I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt. Morgan Freeman's voice is like sexual chocolate. And Clint Eastwood's the coolest man alive. So what about your favourite films? Give me two.
Well, Spider Chronicles I absolutely love. I've watched that so many times. But also, can I give three? I can't decide.
Go ahead, give three.
Star Wars and probably The Meg, because that was really good. That was really good.
So completely forget about Anchorman and all them, okay? No, too late, you forgot. Right, so the first film she's just given away that we've watched or the most recent film, is The Meg. For those who don't know about, it's short for Megalodon, which is a prehistoric shark, which was bigger than your local Asda. It stars Jason Statham, the Stath. It's got a few other rogue people in it who you'll recognise. It's got the dude from The Office who plays the stereotypical eccentric billionaire. Do you know what I mean, that most of these films have got? It's got the bird out of Orange is the New Black, the androgynous bird, or the attractive lesbian bird. What's her name? Ruby Rose, I think. And then there's a Chinese woman in it who's fabulously named Li Bingbing. So, what's not to love? So, do you want to tell them a bit about what the film's about?
I'm going to give too many spoilers, you may as well say.
No, you do it.
A big mouth.
You do it.
So, basically, it's like what scientists, and they think there's another sea underneath the deepest part of the ocean.
Do you remember what that's called?
No.
That's the Mariana Trench. Go on.
And they think there's another sea under it, so they go under, but a giant shark attacks them, and then they think, oh no, they're not going to get through, it's fine, because the water temperatures change. So they stay back up and they don't go back down just in case. But the friends get stuck, so yeah, they have to save them a bit. So that doesn't turn out too good, and the shark releases out into the ocean.
Okay, slow down. So what it is, they think the Mariana, for hundreds of years they thought the Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the ocean. These scientists, backed by that billionaire from The Office, have a theory that there's another layer underneath that which goes even deeper, and there'll be thousands of other species of animal and plant that they've never saw before, or fish. That turns out to be true. The first exploration sub goes down there, and it's hit by something in the dark, which is huge, obviously. A bit like me running for the bath, to go to the toilet after I've got out of the bath. But they don't know what it is. They get stuck, they get trapped on the bottom, and there's only one man on the planet who can go and rescue them, who can dive to that depth. Luckily for them, he's the dude out of Snatch, Jason Statham, who's do you know what I mean, the one and only Stath. So he can go down there. He gets down there in about 3.5 minutes, which is a bit mental. He gets a bit of a nosebleed. Do you know what I mean? It's the deepest anyone's ever dived. The Stath gets a bit of a nosebleed. Never gets mentioned again. They go down. They quickly realise that there's a giant being down there. Earlier on in the film, Jason Statham's in a nuclear submarine that gets attacked by something that he thinks can only be a giant shark. Everyone thinks he's mental. It turns out that he's not mental. It's the same shark. So he has to then rescue them and get them up. The problem is when he rescues and gets them up, like some token fella gets out while he's down there, standard. But when he's rescuing them, they come back through the protective layer, which is keeping the animals below the surface. And this moody giant, as the shaped shark, follows them through, along with a few others, by the sounds of it. So what happens when it comes up?
There's a little girl who always plays around in like the tubes of the base thing, and she's just playing with a little like remote control thing, and then turns to the window and the shark's staring at her, and she screams, and the shark bites the tank and then swims away.
Has it got a big bite?
Yes.
How big?
I don't know. It's not like
How big?
I don't know.
Big. Big.
I can't show you how big. But probably as big as me.
No, well bigger. Go on,
Well
carry
bigger.
on.
But so then it releases into the normal ocean, and they have loads of like their own sea creatures, don't they, like all the whales and stuff, and it starts eating all the whales. So
Sushi.
that's not nice.
It likes sushi, doesn't it? Yeah, so it starts causing havoc. They're based somewhere off the coast of China, I think. And there's like thousands and thousands of people in the sea. And the shark decides it wants a bit of Chinese and just starts popping people like shumars, doesn't he? And that's pretty much it. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was absolutely amazing. So if I could rate it from 1 to 10, I'd probably rate it.
Hang on, before you give it a rating, tell me what the best parts of the film were. Not the individual bits, but what you thought was good that worked in the film.
I think that.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
Was it? Did it have any funny bits in it?
A bit. Because when, like, you think you're safe and then you're not, it's funny because you're watching it and they think they're safe, so you think they're safe, you don't know what's going to happen next.
They think safe, you think everyone thinks it's safe.
But then something happens to them and you laugh at it because it's funny because they're like, oh, I'm safe. And then, so I think that was pretty funny then parts. But
That's because you're evil.
yeah,
I would say, before we give our ratings, I'd say this film tries to be more. If this film tries to be like Jaws, obviously that's the film you'd relate it to. It ends up more for me being more like Sharknado. It's not in the same league as Jaws. It's enjoyable enough. It's quite long. The length of the film, not the shark. The shark's quite long.
it's just nothing.
And it's got the usual tropes where you think they're safe, they're not safe. Then you think it's dead, it's not dead, and then you know what I mean. That goes on, and it's cool. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm a lot older than than this. So I've seen Jaws, so I know what a really scary shark film is. This isn't a really scary shark film, hence why you can take kids. I thought it was alright. Had a push. She liked it a bit more than me. So what would you give it out of 10?
I'll probably give it a 9. Or 8.5, maybe.
Don't change your opinion just because I think you should.
No, probably 8.5 or 9. Because it was really good, but I'm only a kid, so I can't say it's absolutely amazing. Like you say, Jaws was apparently amazing. I'm not going to watch it yet. It sounds too scary.
Well, my issue with you giving it a 9 is when you see an amazing film, how are you going to go much higher than the Meg? Because there's only one number left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you think tonight,
8.5 go for me.
8.5, okay. So, by the sounds of it, she's going to give loads of high ratings to loads of films. She's very easily impressed. So she gives it 8.5. I would give it I'd give it a 6. I've seen worse. I've certainly seen better. And I think you just know what you're going to get with the Stath. He's never going to win any Oscars. There's always a little bit of humour in it. There's one quite cool bit where he's swimming out to the shark to have a straightener with a 7,000-ton shark on his own with a little harpoon, and he's singing "Just Keep Swimming" out of Finding Nemo, which is quite funny. But do you know what I mean? It is what it is. So I'd give it a 6. You give it an 8.5. So I would say our average would be what, a 7.3 between us. Yeah, 7.3, and IMDb give it 5.9. So we're obviously easier to please than IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes give it 45%, but they're notoriously harsh. This is our first ever review, so I'm sure we'll get better. You got any comments on what we could do better or differently? Let us know.
Or any films you'd like us to watch that we can review.
Yeah, any particular films you want us to watch together, and we will when we've got the time. We'll watch them. We've got about 30 films to watch because, like I say, we are proper cinephiles. But I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Dads.
And I'm Mads.
And this was our review of the Meg. Ciao.
Toodles!